Not sure if this will show. Alright, sweet, it does. Okay, cool. So, I do have my volume off, right? Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Game changes, gear set updates, blah blah blah. This is the update that just came out for this game. So what we got for game changes is the gear set updates, NPC AI changes and fixes, crafting recalibration changes, exotic weapon updates, weapon and gear talent changes, trident changes, skills changes, dark zone updates, conflict updates, texture improvement, blah 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 blah. New raid. So Operation Dark Hour is our first 8-player raid coming to Tom Clancy's The Division 2. It pits 8 players together for the first time in the history of the franchise to experience the most challenging activity available in the game. Teamwork, collaboration, and adaptation will be necessary to defeat the Black Tusk. Wow. Okay, so game changes. Gear. Gear will now include better defensive rolls. Loot containers will now reset as a preset time of day. Gear sets, ongoing directive. So loot containers will now reset as a preset time of day. Not sure exactly, it doesn't really give too much detail, but I'm assuming that it's going to be some sort of daily thing that you can do now. So once you open a container, it's just gone for that whole day. Gear sets, ongoing directive, now grants special ammunition into any weapon, including the weapon currently equipped. Now grants special ammunition on any kill, not just weapon kills. Hardwired, now grants skill damage instead of blah. True Patriot, decreases debuff, increases blah. Increases damage to other targets when full flag is active. Decrease debuff cycle. So apparently there's a new gear called the Auxiliary Skill Battery. Auxiliary Skill Battery fits in mod slots and grants skill power. Medic Pulse Grenade. The Medic Pulse Grenade has been changed and no longer applies Disrupt, which is fucking lovely. Impact Radius is reduced, which is fucking even more lovely. The grenade impact radius should now be easier to see, which, I wasn't really too much into that as being the issue. Decrease damage of veteran, elite, and named NPCs. Now, I guess I can see where that might be an issue, but I mean, the challenge for me before this update was kind of fun to deal with. But I guess some people have issues with that damage, which is fine because they do a shit ton of damage. Enemy NPCs should no longer be able to stagger players with a melee attack if a player has a ballistic shield equipped, which is fucking great. It's just fantastic because that was kind of annoying to deal with when I had a shield up. I'm not sure if I'll put it back on, although I do like it. The reviver thing is just, it's just oof. Just lovely. Now, there's something about that later on in these patch notes. Decreased outcast suicide vest explosion radius, lowered NPC damage and health above normal difficulty. Increased variety of NPCs at higher difficulty levels. Which there were a shit ton of freaking golden dudes that always usually popped out, so I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. I guess it'll make things a bit easier, I guess, if it just means difficulty, like instead of just mostly golden dudes. The confidential share engine is a project icon to reflect its use. Alright. Not sure what that is. Never really used it. If it's an actual set or whatever. Crafting. Add specialized and superior skill mod blueprints to the crafting vendor. Added specialized. Added an extra weekly blueprint to the crafting vendor in the base operations. That's interesting to know. Move crafting blueprints from base of operations vendor to Inaya al-Khalik next to the crafting bench. So move crafting blueprints from base operations vendor. Oh, so if I just want to go get like blueprints or whatever, I just talk to her? I'm confused on what that is, but maybe that's what it's going to be. I'll just go in and find out in a bit. Crafted exotic weapons are now always upgrade to the maximum gear score of the world tier they are crafted in when the upgrade blueprint is used. Okay. Recalibration adjusts the cost and ability should be recalibrated for return any category. Blah blah blah. So the damage of all the freaking exotic weapons, it looks like, has been increased, which is fucking amazing. Now, I don't think that's all of them. I think there's a few that isn't in there, like maybe the sniper rifle. I'm not sure. Chatterbox, Sweet Dreams, Merciless, Pestilence, Eagle Bearer, Liberty, Attack 50. Yeah, there's a few that's not. Weapon tolerance unhinged, reduce damage, blah 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 blah. You can all read this as I'm going like slow and such. I'm not really interested in all of this poopy. So, the Reviver Hive. Fix further occurrences of a player's not being revived, which was the most annoying thing for that fucking thing. It just didn't make sense why it wouldn't do that. Now, revive time has been slightly increased, which is confusing because I'm not sure how slightly it has been increased and why. I guess it was a lot faster than just going and reviving someone from a down position. So I don't know if I have too much of an issue with that, so it's whatever. Reinforced chem launcher, reinforced gas clouds do not stack anymore. I didn't know that they stacked to begin with. Well, alright, from chem launcher increase base duration, blah. Defender drone will not drain more quickly once the shot has been deflected. Wasn't really interested in it because it already drained insanely fast anyway, so I just don't use it. Assault drone in PvE, the drone will not more actively look for a new target once it loses its current target. That's interesting because I didn't really want to do that before. I assumed it was going to do that on its own, but it always had me go and choose a target for it, which wasn't too much of an issue, but I guess it makes it more fun to use when it does its own thing instead of always having to worry about putting it on another enemy. Bank headquarters, reduced difficulty for solo players, reduce blah blah blah, damage modifier, reduced to increase time to kill. Skill modifier increase, the skills of more impact, blah, very soon. So, Dark Zone, contaminated loot. Bosses now guarantee a contaminated loot drop. That is fucking dope as shit. Shit, always guaranteeing a contaminated loot drop? That's just fucking dope. That shit, I'm gonna go farm in the Dark Zone a lot more often now. Higher challenge landmarks can drop multiple contaminated items. Now, I might be really interested in that. Basic, veteran, and elite NPCs have their drop rate lowered, but now have a very high chance to drop contaminated loot. So they're just gonna go have a shit ton of contaminated loot drop, I suppose. Is that gonna make that easier for Pestilence to drop? Because if so, I'm gonna break down a bunch of shit. Dark Zone bag size. Default bag size increased to 6. Wait, so the more contaminated loot, I'm assuming that would mean that it would make it even harder to go get regular loot, because if you're always getting like contaminated loot, that means you're always going to like a helicopter, which means that you're always running into people if there's people inside of the Dark Zone. Oh. Well, shit. Default bag size increased to 6. Tier 1 perk backspace now increased back size to 8. Awesome. Tier 4 perk bounce back now reduces dark zone experience lost on death. That is nice. Tier 10 perk increases back size to 10. Ooh, 10. Oh yeah. Dark zone brackets reduce bracketing to level 1 to 30 players in all tiers. Okay. NPC AI reduce damage input, increase time to kill. What? Alright. A bit confused on that one. Whatever. Rogue, remove cooldown, there's still fast and cool block. Thieves Day now allows players to switch weapons. Occupied Dark Zone damage modifier is added a separate PvP damage modifier. Oh. Interesting. Reduce Dark Zone experience last one being killed. That's lovely. Conflict NPC was moved to a more prominent spot next to a helipad outside the base of operations. The Conflict NPC. Okay. Reduced. What? What? Respawning players are now much more likely to respawn with their teammates? Okay. Skill cooldowns no longer reset when a player is killed. That's whack. So that means that when you do die, your shit's just gonna be still on wait. All players are now scaled to max world tier gear score. What? Primary stats are set to high-end values. Normalized talents override and applied. Budget distribution of unnormalized item is reserved. No additional bonuses applied. Unlock mods and talents from an unnormalized build. Active. Items above gear score 500 will be scaled to 500. No bonus stat will be applied to these items. Recalibration bonuses are not applied. Wait, what? Hold the fuck up. Recalibration bonuses are not applied. What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean that the shit that you changed it to isn't going to be there? It's just going to be what you rolled originally? I'm confused on that. If that's what I think it is, I'm not too fucking happy with that bullshit. If that's what I think it means. Weapon and skill global damage modifiers, PvP specific areas, skill behavior. Whatever.